So we're at the Tynwald sitting, and at the very end of question time, David Ashford, Treasury Minister, made an announcement to Tynwald. This is pretty serious again. I mean, we're just going from one, lurching it seems like, from one thing to another. Maybe you can just outline exactly what you're trying to do today.
So we are seeing increased inflationary pressures and also cost of living increases across the island for all aspects of our society, not just limited to certain areas. This isn't just an Isle of Man problem, this is a worldwide problem. We're seeing inflationary pressures and a combination of issues that in some cases haven't been seen since the 1950s, and in terms of inflation and fuel, not since the 1970s. And one of the things we've always said as a government is we can't insulate everyone from every inflationary pressure. We have to recognise government can't do everything, but what we have said is we must assist those who are in the most vulnerable situation, and the commonly used term now, the squeeze middle. So we have announced support payments for those who are within the benefit system or those whose incomes are maybe only just above the benefit system. We've also announced a family support as well for all those who have family with children, and also today I've been able to announce we're bringing further support forward for all those who would normally receive what in the past been termed the Christmas bonus, which is those in receipt of a state pension in the Isle of Man, those in receipt of, for instance, disability living allowance, and also those who may be carers or be recently bereaved.
And that's going to be a bit earlier, by the way, so that Christmas bonus you talk about moving to October, I think.
So this is a separate payment at the moment, which we will be hopefully making in June or July. But then the Christmas bonus element, I'm minded at the moment, although we'll have to see how the year goes on, to increase the amount the Christmas bonus will be and move that forward from November to October.
And that goes to all Manx pensioners, doesn't it?
So it goes to all Manx pensioners, because we have no way of separating out on an income basis.
Because you were reducing it for ages, it seemed like, but now reversal. Is that the best way of doing it, though? I mean, or is that no option there?
Well, it's a one-off payment. It's not going to be year on year on year. We do have to make that absolutely clear. It is the best way of delivering to those categories, because the other way of doing it would be to have a very convoluted application process. And the last thing that people need to be doing is writing out forms and pages of forms to Treasury. That's something we've had fed back to us on previous things we've run. So the quickest, best way to get the money to people is to have a straight set forward criteria, which is what these do.
Which pot are you taking out of, and how much are we talking about?
So the Christmas bonus change, we don't know yet, because obviously I've got to decide in October what potentially we'll do. This additional support today, the majority of it would be the National Insurance Fund, because that is where those benefits are paid from, and the estimated cost at the moment is about £3 million.
And it's just come out the rainy day fund, is it, basically, somewhere along the line? Yeah, as I said, we've been going from thing to thing to thing. You've been taking money out no end, haven't you?
Well, like I say, it's very targeted support. We have to be very, very careful. I made very clear in my statement that while we are in a much better position as a government compared to many other jurisdictions, because we don't have high levels of national debt that many other countries do, or high borrowing requirements, it is important we are not complacent, and that is why it needs to be targeted support.
Well, I've got here the news broke, which we've all known about for a long time, about the Manx Gas situation. I think it was the biggest open secret that they'd been stopped paying the MU some time ago. I mean, now we can talk about it because the FOI has been released. Your comments on what is going on and how the behaviour of Manx Gas, you believe they're dealing with it? Well,
obviously it's a core commercial issue between the MUA and also Manx Gas. It's not really appropriate for Treasury to be involved in that way. But what I would say is obviously we would want Manx Gas to pay their bills on time and see the flow of money coming back through. The MUA and Manx Gas, I know, have been engaged. They've had discussions around this, and my understanding is Manx Gas has now been paying invoices. And I do understand that there's been a payment today as well, which I'm not sure if that brings their account fully up to date, but I believe it brings it close to.
I think a lot of people can't quite get their head around the fact that Manx Gas has still been billing their clients, their customers. They've been taking money in but not passing the payment on to the government. And I do use the word government because you are the Treasury.
Well, it's MUA. We've got to point out the MUA is a statutory board, so operates it operates in a slightly different way to it being just a government department. As Treasury Minister, it's not for me to speak on behalf of Manx Gas. That's something you need to raise with them. But what I would say is, obviously, we have seen wholesale prices of gas, as I again pointed out in my statement, rise by about 450 to 500% in the last year. We only have to look across the water to the UK to actually see how even some of the big providers have now actually gone bust as a result, because they haven't been able to hedge enough and able to be to absorb those costs, and the Ofgem price cap over there hasn't kept up. So it's clear that there obviously has been a struggle somewhere along the line, and businesses do need to get the money into clients to pay. But obviously I can't speak on behalf of Manx Gas and why they have or have not been able
I wasn't asking to speak on their behalf, I was asking about the government's side.
But in terms of government side, MUA, which is the statutory authority, has been engaging with Manx Gas. There have now been payments made, and like I say, I'm aware of payments being made today as well. I'm not sure if that evens out now their account and brings it up to date, but I believe if not, it brings it very close to being.
Are you finally happy with the situation then? Let's try that.
Well, it depends what you mean by the situation.
Well,
obviously, we would rather, I would not wanted to put words in the mouth of the chairman of the MUA. It'd probably be better to speak on this. But obviously, any creditor, you would want them to pay their bills on time, just as if you were a private business out in the private sector, you would want your creditors to pay you on time.